Today is October 1st, the Historic District Commission meeting. 4:32. Present are John McLaughlin, TJ Watterson, and Val Oliver. Can I have an approval of the agenda, please?
Yes.
Thank you. Is there any public comment?
All those in favor?
If you want a second video.
Oh, yeah, we gotta approve.
Actually,
All those
can I
in
do a
favor?
public
Yes.
comment?
Valerie?
Yes.
All those in favor?
All those in favor
Aye.
of approving the agenda?
Aye.
Aye.
Public comment?
Is
Okay.
there any public comment?
Two Marianne Drive reminded me, seeing it there, and I don't think this, what I have to say shouldn't impact that. But I would like someone to check, because they have 4 new windows that are 6/1, and all of the existing windows are 6/6.
Okay,
I will check into that.
thank you, Terry.
Talking about my house?
Yeah.
Any other public comment?
Want to take a picture of it for me?
No. Seeing none,
I mean, you can't.
we'll
mess
move
it
on
that
to the
way.
consent agenda.
Yeah.
Do any of us have to sit off the consent agenda?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Can I have a motion?
Okay.
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
All those in favor?
No, John, I abstain.
Okay. Aye.
Aye.
That carries, right?
Yeah, I'm kind of catching up here.
You can slow down.
I do.
Okay.
TJ made that.
Okay. Oops. Hold on. Just for those people at home.
Okay, now we're on to
We're on
conditions.
consent with conditions.
Consent with condition?
Consent with conditions. Does anyone want to make a motion?
Motion? Yeah, oh boy, that's gonna hang.
Yeah, motion approved.
Okay, all
Oh,
those
did
in
you-
favor?
Did John make the motion? or-
No.
No.
I
Of
make
TJ's motion? Aye.
Okay, and this
John abstains.
vote is 2
To
to
1.
1. I'm abstaining, great.
Okay.
Hi.
Okay, so now we're moving on to new business.
New
And
business. Number 1.
we're on number 1.
Yeah.
We have a very
Welcome.
short board tonight.
Oh,
Either people are sick or away,
We're on their way.
or on their way.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm gonna give you this back. Okay. Hi, thank goodness you're here.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Would you like to present your application?
Certainly, certainly.
Name for the record.
Yours or mine? Paul Cronin.
And everybody's laughing, well, it's gonna be a
Paul
funny
Cronin.
day.
I'm like, what?
Pretty funny.
Wasn't it? I've been working on that one all day.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
So, here we are out in Low Beach, Wisconsin. Big property, as we can see, and we're looking to build an enclosed garden in the back portion of the property. Basically, there's some serious elevation changes that are helping us to try and sink as well as low as possible. I have some kind of inspirational images here from the client.
And do you have, Paul, any pictures of like looking at the house or any of that?
Right now, I have from the house. I was gonna put up.
Okay.
I think we're gonna have to put up some height poles here because it's pretty big.
Okay.
But here you can see this is from the house looking towards Low Beach Road. So that's here looking
Okay.
out.
Show those to John.
I will. And then, but I think we're gonna have to have a meeting just because
Okay.
of the size of this.
Okay.
These are from the homeowner. Some just
Okay. You can pass those to him.
Alright.
From Connecticut or something.
Well, so,
You got, this is the house?
This is some inspirational images of the house, of what she's looking to do. Right here, this is looking towards Little Beach Road to show there's already some natural vegetation, but we're really,
This is a garden?
it's a big enclosed garden, yes.
Which wall is on the east? What is this short wall? How tall is that wall?
here.
It's on the last page, I give some elevations.
Yeah.
No, he just said,
Oh,
so,
east is 11.5.
so,
No, that's small.
to Paul's credit, he thinks we should view with some poles, and that
Yeah.
is a good
Oh.
idea.
Yeah, that is a good idea.
Yeah, it's very hidden, the wall, it obviously seems very large, but it's set down. It's set far back from the road, it's gonna be set down. You'll see there's a natural depression in the property,
Okay.
and so, and you can see, in that lower right-hand corner of the detail drawing, there's gonna be a lot of screening and vegetation put in there, so, again, from the street, it will not be visible, but I think, considering what we're looking to do here, I think height poles would be in everyone's best interest, so you guys
Yeah.
can really see how.
Well, is that vegetation in front of the, where the walls are proposed, is that existing or?
There's some that's there, but it's gonna be thickened up.
Gonna be
There's
thickened
just, they've started, like, this is still a project and it's been a couple years.
Okay.
So they're finishing up now, but there is gonna be a lot more screening put in there, just, cause
Okay.
they wanna, I mean, as much as you don't wanna see them, I don't think they don't wanna see out either.
Okay,
I'll ask for a view.
Okay.
I just wanna remember the heights, so I don't think of east as where you have it, so
Okay.
I just wanna make sure I've
Did I
got this right.
reverse them?
Yeah, because Low Beach Road faces to Spain.
Okay.
I know that. So I know that is east. So I'm not sure unless it's Kitty, like,
It's all, I
you
mean.
know, maybe south and north would be the long sides.
Right, no problem.
But I just wanna know what, when we go out there, what we're what
Well, you're gonna
we'll
be
see.
looking, if, unfortunately, if,
I think it's,
to my drawing, you're going to be, the only view that you will be able to see, or you'll be looking at would be the south elevation.
south, okay.
right,
Yeah.
So
if
you're
that,
calling south that,
Yes,
that's in front of the vegetation.
correct. So that, as you can see, there's a retaining wall, that curved retaining wall.
that's
Yeah.
there,
Right
right?
That wall is going to be completed. It's already has approval, it's a couple years old, so that's being completed as we speak, so that's raised, and then, you know, so it's stepping, this whole property is stepping down, but you'll see when you view it, we'll put up the height poles of the corners. I really think we're only necessary to put up these front two corners.
It's like a secret garden.
Yeah. It's, she's very interesting, she's got some great ideas, and she wants to, you know, it's all antique brick, she wants to make it as it's, you know, looks like it's falling down. Do you have any of those?
Oh,
Do you have any of those pictures?
Oh,
somebody has them.
Do you have those? Can I see these?
do they get caught?
It's kinda cool, she did these, you know, she wants it to start to
Yeah,
crumble,
crumble.
you know, and then she's gonna,
Maybe she wants it to be Spain,
I think so,
Looking for something.
I think they could afford Spain.
Spanish.
Okay, so I think Abby
Yeah.
has made a motion to view
Please.
with poles.
Question,
Okay,
this is all brick,
Yes.
10 feet of brick,
And some granite,
There's only one brick wall in Nantucket.
Huh.
That's up on Pleasant Street,
there's only one brick wall?
one brick wall, this big, yeah,
Oh, that big,
no
yeah.
Hanos,
or any of them.
or whatever
There's
it
only
is
one.
now.
Anyway, let's do it,
Yeah, absolutely.
this is steak shop.
We're gonna do that tomorrow.
That's a really nice lady.
When do you
All
guys?
those in favor of
Aye.
Abby's motion to view with
Aye.
poles? All right, now you can take over and be the chairwoman.
Okay. That's exciting. Did you do all that other stuff?
Yeah,
Consent?
so now we're on number 2,
Did you-
new business.
Did you get me clued into the agenda here, whatever you did?
Oh, yeah, we didn't announce that. Abby
Abby.
Camp joined us.
What's next, Long Pond Road?
Yep,
Yeah. what's the
Alright.
time?
Abby's gonna take over now as the chair. one.
What?
Abby's gonna be the chair.
Okay, fine.
Good time to cut out there, Val.
Oh.
Yeah, she's here. She's talking to Linda.
Karen, you're up.
I'm gonna put this on hold for next week.
Okay.
Okay, well, it won't go till, okay, well. Will it go for next week in business? The board has to make that decision.
What, you wanna hold it, so, for what? We're gonna try to work out where they are, cause Nantucket Advisor was like,
They are gonna say
I'm gonna
no.
leave her out there.
So-
Okay,
I've gotta get a location
Repeat
that's
that.
available.
can you just come up here and say it so it's on the record and?
Yeah.
microphone. Sick or away?
I know she did make our meeting this morning and raised away.
She's sick.
Where's Steve?
He's sick.
Oh, there is something going around.
What kind of sick?
Flu
Colds
sick.
and ear infections, nose infections. But we roll along.
Okay, so, Karen,
Okay, so it's a ground mount, apparently the Nantucket Advisory Board doesn't make the location of it, but they would support a different location, so I'm gonna go back to the property owner
okay,
before I submit it, so I'd rather
Okay.
put it on hold, and it's new business, so hopefully it could go next week,
It hasn't been heard yet at all.
hasn't been heard yet.
Okay, motion to hold for the beginning of the meeting next week.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect, alright, thank you.
Next week?
Yeah.
yeah,
All in favor?
I,
Aye.
is anybody here for 3 Friendship Lane?
Wow. I thought I was gonna escape without having to come for a week. Didn't work.
Sorry,
Thank you.
It's your standard Huntington.
We had several things approved on this site.
Well, now it's actually bought by somebody else. It was subdivided. He's gonna put his house in the back and this one's going towards the front. What you approved last was that big honking garage on the corner lot for,
I know,
Dorothy. And then this is the only other vacant lot in there, next one in. I'm surprised there's any vacant lots in there.
Is there a house on the rear lot on this property?
Not yet.
Oh, okay, so it's
So I'm
subdivided?
saying it's really the only vacant lot left in there. Now we have 2 vacant lots.
so, I guess I would say, not knowing exactly where it is on the site, how close it is to the street.
Is there a site
There
plan?
is a site plan.
Oh, there is
yeah.
a site plan.
Yeah, somewhere.
Yeah, there it is, it's about maybe 30 feet off, because that's a 25 feet setback.
And we'll
I know there are some tall houses in there, but I think they're set back farther from the road.
I can do pictures.
I'm almost thinking we should do, just
Yeah,
for the context.
I
I
agree.
know what she's talking about, the garage, but still, most of the houses are not right on the street this big. How did it get divided?
It was just an oversized lot, and any restrictions in there are expired, like they have in Pine Valley across the street.
Yeah, so much for restrictions.
They
If
only
they
last
expire.
30 years, and then they're gone.
I learned that the hard way.
Yes, a lot of people
Um,
are. If you
well,
want to view, that's fine. I'm not
yeah.
here next
Yeah,
week
I-
anyway, so.
Make a motion.
motion to view with height poles?
Oh,
You
don't
want
make me
Michael?
hypo. These people have no money.
How do we
fair enough.
know?
You'll know,
coming on
because you
green?
can look at it and then look at the one across the
We'll
street.
know by the neighboring houses, you know.
Well, maybe you
Fair
could get us some information about, like, the direct neighboring houses,
I
so,
will.
so we know.
I just got
if-
thrown this afternoon
If
again,
it's,
so.
if it's, you know, it's within keeping, otherwise, I'm
What
okay
meeting
with
are
the
we
arch-
moving this to?
What is next week?
Because,
New business.
yeah,
You want old business?
Yeah,
Okay,
'cause
so
I'm
just-
away.
So just, okay, just
Okay.
sign up for
I'll
old
sign up for the
business.
old business.
Okay, thanks, perfect.
Okay, Motion to hold for review for, next business, next new business.
Old
Old
business.
business.
Next old business.
Oh, yeah, no.
Gotcha.
You'll be able,
Yeah, if you can
all you
tell
have to do
us
is
what's
drive down
around it.
Friendship, don't, just avoid the Lake Friendship at both ends of the street.
Otherwise, I don't have any problem with architecture.
Okay. Okey dokey.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Aye.
Aye.
Number 4.
Okay, so I just have to explain this one. This one, I don't think anybody's here for it. I pulled it out of consent because they applied for a like kind and they used, well, I think the like kind application.
But it's not.
But it's not, and he put up something totally different, which is approvable, but I told him he might get slapped with a $450 as-built fee. So I just wanted you guys to look at this.
Okay.
And approve that so I can do that.
Okay.
Which I know I could anyway, but just for the record. So this is the like kind,
Application.
that's what they put up, and this is what he applied for. That's all kind of. So, yeah, so the like kind, and then they put up something totally different.
Hard to tell what you put up.
He put up according to the application, he put up on the application before it got approved. So he put on Weatherwood Architectural, which is approved in the Old Historic District. But he used the application for tonight, but he used a like kind to start the roofing permit.
Well, and so the like kind would be 3 tab and this is architectural.
Yeah, so this is approved, but this is what he applied for tonight, but he used the like kind instead. So
Can I see the existing one we applied for?
this is the existing we applied for, yeah.
So that's something that, we have a very, very short board tonight.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
So this is an approved color?
It's an approved color and
It says driftwood.
No, that's the like kind that they applied for.
But then
And-
they didn't put it up.
They didn't put up, they put up the architectural, Weatherwood, which was the application for tonight on consent. He did it anyway, but he applied for a like kind.
All right, so you know what's confusing? It says
well-
currently sea green, changing to Weatherwood.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the application says.
No, that's not that's the like kind application.
Yeah,
This is the application.
Well, so, Kim, do we have pictures of the asphalt shingles, cause I don't remember what, you know, I don't know if it's, I'm gonna call for review because I can't tell, my problem would be, is it too light, and is it too brown?
Well, that's what is approved in the Old Historic District. He put on this, which is what you have in your,
So he put on driftwood?
he put on Weatherwood Architectural, which
Oh.
is what he applied for, which is approved in the Old Historic District.
I'm fine with it.
But it was applied for tonight, at tonight's meeting, but he went ahead and did a like kind,
Mhm.
and used the like kind, and, but, so he put on the wrong like kind.
That's nice. It's approved, we approved it. for
But-
Yeah,
you.
it's on the
Okay,
list.
okay.
So basically, it's an as-built at this point, so I wanted to be able to charge him $450.
Darn tootin'.
He put it up, yeah, he put it up without a permit, basically.
Yeah.
He put it up without approval.
Okay, motion to approve, should we charge them the as-built?
John?
Motion to,
Weatherwood,
It
blue
is.
color,
Yes.
Yeah,
the old ACC?
Yeah.
yeah, which is an approved color that we discussed.
architectural
I was
shingles.
gonna look it up anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm making a motion to approve with the as-built fee.
Okay.
Sorry, that was confusing, but.
Kathy.
Actually, John Hedden.
Oh, it's just getting.
Well, John and Jeff Marash, and Holly, so. It's kind of like it was a concerted effort.
8 way up high, it's a good catch.
All those in favor?
Hi.
You doing the vote?
She was the
Good
chairwoman.
chair.
Oh, okay, yeah, well, okay, so it's a co-chair tonight.
Free for all.
It's a
Just
whole
to
thing.
confuse you.
Alright, so the next one, Abby, you're not on, so
Okay.
I guess I will.
Oh, here, you're gonna sign this, I'm sorry.
44 New Nantucket.
You're gonna sign that.
Yes. First one under old biz.
Okay. So the board is McLaughlin, Oliver, and TJ.
John?
This was a view.
This is the same one Ethan was here for
Um,
last week? No?
no.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry.
Here, John? McLaughlin, Oliver, Dutra, Watterson.
Hey, hey, hey. What kind of treatment do you get when you're a champ?
Okay. What do you got for us?
Right, Mike Duffy on behalf of the applicant. We're here with revision to pool and hardscape application. We were on the agenda a couple months ago. It was requested for a viewing. It had been staked, and we are back here tonight with that same application. From the viewing, there are two locations along Mile Standish where you can see, I'll call it one corner of the pool. So we were looking for an approval with appropriate, we'll call it natural screening, as opposed to a 6-foot fence along Mile Standish. So the application shown certainly is a 4-foot fence with a natural screening to complement what is there.
Okay, what I don't know is which one is the actual thing you're applying for. I have,
Second page, I think.
so what is this one?
This is the one that we're applying for. So we're
That's not attached. Cause this is what's attached.
They should have been collective submission. So this was previously approved in 2017.
Okay.
So the updated plan, this is an existing condition. And this is the
What's the date stamp on that?
June 11th,
What's the date stamp on the other one?
June 11th.
Oh,
They're
June
just
11th.
not stapled, I guess.
Oh, okay. I think there's only one copy of that.
Valerie, I have a question.
Yes.
You. This here states that, 44 New Nantucket Avenue, August 29th. Motion approved through staff with no pool equipment, shed, and to east elevation, 10 light French doors. That was your motion.
I think the,
Carry through.
Okay,
those minutes are from 2017, so we had a
Make sure I'm
previous
reading it
approval.
right, that's
so-
2017,
Okay,
and that was for a pool?
It was for a pool. There was a pool house that screened some of the view. This application just moves the pool closer to the property line, but still screened by vegetation along the Mile Standish Road.
And what is the fence?
That's the main house, yeah.
thank you.
There's currently a 4-foot fence proposed around the property. When we were here last time, there was a request for a 6-foot fence along Nantucket Avenue. And then we were hoping to maintain the 4-foot along Mile Standish.
TJ,
I liked the previous approval a little bit better because the view from the driveway kinda showed you the end of the Cabana shed. And now we're looking through those double gates, like straight out of pool area, and, you know, I don't know if that's gonna be visible or not, but it looks like it could be. And our, objective is to make these pools invisible. Otherwise, I've got no problem as long as we can figure out something to mitigate the visibility from the neighbor.
Yeah, we can certainly, either relocate the double gates such that it's, a little further over. It could be a single gate as you come in.
Yeah, I think it's maybe if you pulled it hard right toward the building and made it a single gate, it could be a better situation.
Mike, also, it looks like the fence is now on the line, where before it was pushed back off of the line. At least, it looks like about 4 feet or so.
Yeah, we can certainly push the fence closer too.
I would prefer it off of the property line, right on the road.
Sure.
How about you, Johnny?
Yes, I have a question. The showing of the pool and the house, the pool doesn't show where the air conditioners are. Did they get a permit from?
When you say air conditioners, you mean for the house?
Right.
Are they shown on the previous?
Look at the photo. Look at the photo.
Where is the
They're over there.
photos? Who's got the photos?
TJ, you want to look at the photo?
Oh, do I have the photos? I don't know. I've got the aerial. I don't think I have the real photos.
I thought you had them, John.
Kathy must have them.
You don't have them? The photos? Oh, here they are.
They got caught.
So I don't,
Keep going, last page.
I think that was the last one. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I don't see any, I'm unaware of air conditioners. I can certainly take a trip back up.
Is it pool equipment you're looking at?
Right here. 4-foot fence.
So we're still proposing a 4-foot fence as it wraps the site, and then we would bump to a 6-foot fence
Right,
along.
this is toward the street looking in. What I'm trying to find, I just looked at a photo.
Are you
Here it is.
referencing this?
Yes,
So this
yeah.
is just an example of a 4-foot fence. This is not existing on site. This is a representation.
Where are the air conditioners on the top? On the
So
plan?
we don't have air conditioners for
Oh,
this
okay.
house.
All right, you say you don't have them? I thought that, I don't know why that was put there, that's on this picture.
Yeah.
No problem.
Thank you.
Okay, so, does anybody wanna make a motion? I don't think I can, right? I can?
They changed that, the chair changed it.
Okay. A motion to approve through staff with the 4-foot board fence on Miles Standish to be pushed back about 4 feet, and the gate to be moved so that there isn't a direct view of the pool, and that the pool be screened for now in all perpetuity. Forever hold your peace.
Aye.
Aye.
All those in favor?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
TJ,
Aye.
you voting for this?
I'm
She
not
wasn't
on it.
on it.
Oh, okay.
I'm on the next one.
All right, just keep it a record. 12 Lincoln Avenue, all those in favor?
Yes. Yes, or not.
They have to make that, you can go to the, yeah, that, they have to make that decision now, yeah.
How do you do?
How do you do?
I don't know.
Are you worried about your board?
Yeah, I was gonna see, I'm missing a 2 or 3.
It looks like whole.
Cole is away till after Columbus Day.
It's next week too?
Yep. And Steven's sick today, so that's why he's not here.
Yeah, they're coming out. Okay, thanks.
Do you wanna hold it till next Tuesday?
Yeah, good.
Then you'll, at least you'll have,
Yeah,
4, right?
yeah, I just feel like sometimes with 3,
then if there's an absence, then
Yeah.
you're screwed,
This is for the addition?
for lack of a better term.
This is for the addition, yeah.
Alright.
So, yeah.
Do you want, so should we make a motion to hold until next week?
Does that work?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Steve. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And does that go for everything on Lincoln Circle?
Those three, right? Yeah.
Second dwelling, cabana, and addition?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right, did John get that? So, I guess so. Herding cats, we're herding cats.
Paul Dale.
Second dwelling?
So we're on to 1012 Dave Kim Lane.
Okay. Who's
Good
the
evening.
board on this? Uh-oh.
I think we
So
have
the
an alternate.
board on this,
What happened number 2?
2 through 4, Matt asked us to hold.
Oh, 2, 3, and 4?
Yeah.
the board is,
Okay.
a full board, but, we're not a full board tonight, so it's Alderman McLaughlin, Camp, and Watterson.
Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
4.
Yeah,
Pretty good considering
yeah,
we've got half
Limited
our,
resources tonight.
yeah.
Yeah.
half the army here.
5.
So this was held for review at the last meeting, and to just kind of generally summarize, this is relating to the wall or barrier at the rear of the property. It was previously approved as like a carport-esque structure, so like has a roof and a little bit more kind of mass to it. The proposed change is to make that structure basically just a wall. They also are interested in kind of bringing more of the grading back. So you'll see it's probably best illustrated on the sheet that Mr. Oliver just had open, where there's that
This
little,
one?
the next sheet. No, just turn that to 24 by 36.
Oh.
Yep, right there. So this little diagram right here in the corner basically kind of describes what was previously approved and what was there. And then probably within the packet, you've got like a huge sheet which actually show the elevation of the wall. But this kind of sums it up.
I did not hear it, because it was, I need to be reminded of those things. And I don't think it was on our view list.
So what is the back of the wall?
No.
So it was already approved as sort of a partial concrete, partially shingled wall. They're basically just getting rid of the kind of shed part to it, and then moving the whole thing into the property, the depth of that previous shed, and then infilling that area with the existing dirt. So you can see there's two revisions basically. It's to the actual wall itself, getting rid of the roof. That gray mass was previously what was approved. So this whole sort of shed structure. That was what was previously approved. What they want to do now is say just, okay, we just want to bring the grade back, make this just a wall, and have a shingled wall on top of it.
This is just for grade. This has
Basically,
no
it's
architecture.
retaining the
Okay,
grade.
I'm
Yep.
sorry.
Yep.
There's no architecture here. This is just
No.
putting
But
up the grade.
when you're
Yeah.
looking into this site,
Yeah.
straight ahead, you're gonna see a 20-foot high wall, which is a combo of concrete
Correct.
and a shingled wall on
Correct.
top of it.
Yes. Now, just to be clear, that's no higher than what was previously approved.
I know, but with a roof, it makes sense.
Well,
It's
you
like a
wouldn't see you would
structure.
never see the roof. You would just see potentially the underside of the roof because it's open towards the street.
Why does the shingled portion, why does it have to be 20 feet tall? Do you want this to
I
go
think they're trying to
down?
maximize just the barrier. You know, they've got that berm, they've got the plants. I think what really drove this was the planning board and some of the neighbors said to do as much as you can to kind of obscure this whole thing from the Woodland Drive kind of subdivision. They weren't really focused too much on the kind of Dave and more industrial side. But if the board had some sort of issue with the kind of cladding on the Davekin side, I don't think they'd have an issue with sidewalling that whole thing. But from a structural standpoint, the bottom half would be concrete.
Wow, I didn't realize it backed right up to wood line.
Can you point out
Which
the
is more-
elevation you're filling in?
Sure. So, again, it's hard. So, this is basically, this whole piece here was previously approved as, it basically looked exactly like this, except there was a knee wall back here, so there's essentially a break. So from here up, you'd be seeing the underside of the previously approved roof, and then it looked exactly like this. Yeah.
Is there any way to perhaps break up some of that wall somehow with some vegetation?
Oh, well, it's on the rear side, it's completely obscured by the previously approved vegetation.
No, I know, but on the side when you,
Well, there is a significant amount of vegetation along Gavekim that was previously approved, so that will obviously remain. It's actually a pretty narrow pinch point. You approved it all vegetated except for where the access sort of drive is to this property. So you're gonna have a limited view down the whole corridor of this street, or the access point. Again, it's not, I mean, I'm sure they'd be willing to kind of change some cladding if you did want to see the concrete, but it is essentially, when viewed at over 200 feet from the road, it's not going to look materially different than what was previously approved, to be perfectly honest.
I have a question, or maybe a little modification here. I'm looking at the cross section, and I wondered, in order from the Dave Kim side not to have a 20-foot wall, if we could back this top section up maybe 3 or 4 feet and put plantings in front of it on both sides.
Sure.
That way we've got,
a break and it's a little bit
so
of
it's not a
vegetation.
sheer 20-foot wall.
Yeah, I think that's a
that's
good
a great idea.
So, I mean, you probably need it to be like 4 or 5 feet in order to get plantings.
At that
in
point,
there.
they'd probably do the retaining structure and then just basically put a fence on top of the wall, or top of the berm, basically.
Exactly right.
Instead of a shingled wall.
And, well, it could still be shingled, or it could be like just a panel vertical board.
I would be
fence.
fine with like a 5-foot vertical board fence.
Yeah.
I think that's the simplest.
John, did you hear TJ's suggestion?
I have some questions. In the back, come in here this way, right? Right? And all your bays are here.
Correct.
Right. This is 14 feet right here. No, it's not, it says 34, right, wait. Right, elevation 40 is right here.
Mhm.
And this one is down here. There's a 6-foot drop between here and here.
Show him the concept.
Where is the retaining wall?
That's correct. This whole area, this is all the retaining wall right here,
Right.
and then it tapers down as it goes back towards the adjacent property, which obviously they can't
Show
modify.
him the cross section.
On this side.
This is actually all flat. You can see the gradient also comes in up here. So it's really just, it mounds up as it gets towards, this is really the highest point of the burned area. It all slopes up here, slopes up here, slopes up here, slopes up here, and then slopes up here, and then actually it slopes down that way.
Okay, now this one is 42.
Mhm.
What is the 6-foot difference between here and here?
Mhm.
What is the difference between here? 44, 34, 36,
Show him the cross section.
40, and this is 32.
Mhm.
There's 8-foot difference here and 6-foot difference here.
Correct, and this actually, if you don't mind, to the next page, this is essentially the existing berm that's there, and they want to modify it to kind of infill this whole area.
And TJ just had a suggestion
Okay, what was it?
to take this and move it back 4 feet, put planting in front of it on this side and planting in front of it on that side.
So we'd end up with a 5-foot board fence instead of a single wall. Move it back 4 feet. Then you don't have a 20-foot wall from the Dave Kim side, Because that whole assembly is 20 feet tall.
The whole building coming?
No, the whole wall with the shingle part is 20 feet. So we'd be making it more like a 12-foot concrete wall with a fence a few feet back.
How many feet is it from the gable end, the peak, to the roof, to the top?
There's no roof.
No, yeah, yeah, that's, the building itself is probably like 30, right?
Correct.
How tall is your building from ground up?
The building's 30 feet to the ridge.
30 feet.
Correct.
Can you do an exhibit A?
Yeah, I'll do an exhibit A here.
Make a motion.
You want a scale?
No, it's good. The concrete is scaled at 12 feet, right?
I believe that looks
TJ?
correct.
No, I'm okay. Thank you, though.
So the shingle wall,
Shingle wall become a 5-foot board fence natural to weather and moves back toward Woodland Drive 4 feet or so, about 4 feet, you would say.
and move back, I'm gonna say 4 feet. From Woodland, away from Woodland?
Away from Dave Camp.
Away from Dave, Lane. In front.
And, yeah, planting is on either side of the fence.
Who's the chair on that? Abs?
All in favor of, TJ's motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you put your name with your chairman?
For Angola,
She is going to be, she would like to be moved to the next old business meeting.
okay, motion to hold, for Angola Lane till next new business,
Old business.
old business,
Aye.
aye.
Who made that?
Outer Angola,
Abby.
Hello,
Hello there.
Hello.
There we go.
how are you?
Easy afternoon meeting, huh?
Hey,
Pretty light agenda.
Yes,
next to 4 Angola Lane, right?
It's being held. We
The
just
next
held
week.
the next old business.
You gonna hold it?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so the board on this is Paul, McCombs, McLaughlin, Camp, and Watterson, so a small one.
Yeah, we got 3 out of 5. We're kind of on the fence, but.
I know, do you wanna,
Yeah, that's fine.
it's up to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
And so, let's see, so you're missing Ray.
Ray.
We got a approval from the Nantucket Advisory Board. I went, met with them. And
Oh, you did?
Yep.
That's in
I
there.
will
Highness?
just point out that it's wood shingles and
Oh, no.
Is that the advisory boards stuff?
Yeah,
So they met once, and then I wasn't there, and then we went and met with them again.
well, I didn't know that, cause I didn't put that on the agenda.
Well, we wanna, we can hold till next week if you guys wanna do that, so we can get all the
It's
paperwork.
up to you.
I can put this on the Nantucket Advisory Board for this upcoming Tuesday.
Well, I already met with them again.
Yeah, but I don't have,
We don't have the.
when did you, this is from the 10th of September, did you meet with them?
No,
This was last week.
This was last week on Tuesday.
Okay,
That was the, whatever that is.
okay. I don't have the comments, but not that I don't believe you, but,
We can
Yeah.
wait until we get the comments,
yeah, I don't know where the comments are, unless they're in here, hang on, they might be in this one. Hold on, stand by.
I had actually a suggestion
Yeah,
for
I don't-
this.
I
Could
don't
you put
have-
up like a square of black board? How big are they?
You're like probably 4 by 3 or something.
Yeah,
right?
each panel's
On
like 5
the
by 3
sides
roughly.
that you're gonna see it.
I don't, unless
We
they
can go
wrote on.
through, I went out and took some pictures as well. But if,
Yeah,
But we're happy to hold, also getting a full board.
I can talk to Linda, cause she's the chair, and see what,
Nothing in
yeah, 'cause
there?
I don't have, I
we
don't
don't have
have,
those minutes.
We should probably have those in the.
yeah, I don't know where they are, so, yeah.
Cool, well, let's hold it till.
Yeah, we might as well hold, then we'll hopefully have Ray back in the full board anyway.
Well, he's not back until after Columbus Day.
Oh, he's gone.
Right.
Alright. And then
But
who
Steve
was our
probably
fourth?
will be, he's sick. Is he on
Diane's
it? He's not on
on
it.
Diane is on it.
Diane is on it.
Yeah, we'll come back next week.
Yeah, that way we can sort the minutes
Yeah.
out, make sure everybody's up to speed.
Bring us up to date on what's going on. That'd be-
They're discussing whether or not to hold, and they're gonna hold until next week, because Stephen will be back. They want a bigger board instead of 3 people.
And we just need to
And
get,
Matticat.
And Nantucket Advisory made comments, but we don't have a copy of it.
Yeah.
A copy
Which
what?
is,
We don't have a copy of Nantucket Advisory Board. They met with the
right.
advisory board, but there's nothing
For you
written
to
down,
review.
New
so.
regulation says you can't look at it. If it goes through.
All right, well, so all in favor of, how do we do this? Should we hold?
It's your decision. You wanna hold it for next week?
yes,
Can I do
we'll
any
hold
of
it till
that,
next week, so we have everything in order,
motion
everybody,
to hold
has
for-
everybody seen it? Everyone has a chance to look
Yeah,
at it?
yeah.
Can you put
Okay.
up a board?
we've gone back and forth from there like 3 or 4 times, and it'd be, you really can't see the pitches.
I don't believe that from the water, but I'm not on it.
But the, so sorry, I have a question before
And
we
it's a
close
wood
it.
roof.
The Matticat Road faces what way? Is that east?
If you're looking, it would be, Matticat Road would be facing north.
North, okay.
And Ethan's probably not here.
Right, it's on the north side, you can't see it from
You
Matticat.
can't see it from the road.
No, I know.
If you go out there, you can't even find the house.
Yeah, I actually had trouble finding the house when I went up there.
Yeah, it's only from the water. I
Yeah.
don't know if we can.
Yeah, we'll talk about it a
Wait
little
a
more
minute.
next.
I have a comment.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Alright, now, you brought in that thing there with pictures looking across the pond towards the house. Showed it, alright.
Yep.
Do we have copies of it in the file?
We'll make sure we have some next week before
Because
John.
to submit something we see there, and somebody takes the application out, they don't know what they're talking about.
Cool, well, we'll make sure we have.
So
some
we'll
next
have
week.
Okay.
4 sets of photos.
All right, we have
We'll
to-
get updated photos.
Alright,
Thank you.
on
Okay.
hold, okay.
Thank you.
So you're gonna be on the next,
How about number 8, Brody?
Yeah, the next
If
one.
we get on next week, that'd be great.
yeah, they have to,
We'll go sign up tomorrow.
Vote on it?
yeah, you have to
Okay.
make that in a motion.
Okay, do I hear a motion to hold this for next week?
For the new business, the beginning of new business.
I can't, cause I'm not on it.
You're not on it?
No.
Did you?
I missed one meeting.
Yeah, I'll make a
Can you read
motion to
back
hold then for
Okay.
next week,
Okay.
I was,
New-
that's
at
the
the
day
end of
my
new
dog
business.
at
died.
the end of new business.
At the end.
Sorry.
Is that what you wanted, the end?
The beginning would be nice.
In the beginning, yeah. Or just hold for next week?
Abby,
Everything I could.
In the order he signs up.
Yeah.
you
We'll
made
let
the
the
motion,
administrative
alright. I would put an amendment on the motion.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank
No
you.
worries, sorry about that.
No, it's like.
Dave, wait a minute, let's put it. Rooftop solar, okay, that's all, sorry. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, John.
Excuse me.
Thank you, everyone.
We're on number 9,
Great
See
day.
ya.
Late meeting.
and
Bye.
Ethan didn't respond.
So why don't you?
Oh, he's on his way.
Ethan is,
Mm-hmm.
You can't mail one in?
What about the
I'd
second?
love to.
Why don't you?
Now.
You wanna hold the second one too?
Well, we didn't open it.
I
if
missed
you,
one.
if you only missed, well, no, you would, should have mulled in, mulled in.
Yeah, so they weren't on the agenda for Tuesday, so I don't know how they could have, cause I don't remember putting them on. I don't know how they could have talked about it. Without,
Unless you just went in.
Yeah.
in the public comment, yeah. Anyway.
Okay,
Get
so
something straight.
Ethan's on his way?
Ethan is coming.
We held number 7.
Yep,
Alright, we're gonna hold number 8.
yep.
How long is Ethan gonna take?
He says he's on his way,
Alright, now we're on number 9, am I right?
but he's not here yet.
Who?
He's coming.
Ethan. He's coming. He's on his way. He texted me.
Well, you can.
We could do, or wait on minutes, and
You could approve minutes,
Okay.
I didn't read any of them, so.
nobody ever does. So-
The only reason I wanted to is because of, there's a couple of applications that are kind of.
Do you wanna hold, yeah?
Was he in Hyannis when he called?
I hope not.
He responded.
First night we can get a short night.
He
I know.
he
Everybody else
responded
has
at
to take off.
5:20. It's 5:21. Give him a few minutes.
Yeah, really.
Kathy, we're gonna leave. You wait and tell them who we left.
Okay, yeah.
And you, poor thing, had to go from the tape. Motion to hold the minutes of, 10 and 12?
10th and 12th.
All in-
Maybe, or was
All in
it,
favor?
It's 10 from the 12.
okay,
All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Okay, that's all.
And
If
then-
you wanna discuss what you wanted to discuss, what we got 4 years to discuss it.
Yeah,
We're waiting.
well, do you want to just discuss,
That's the
want
applicant procedure letter.
me to do the update on Sunset Ridge first?
Yes, please.
So that has been appeal has been moved to the select board meeting on 10/23/19, just so you guys know.
Yes, I sat through a whole meeting and they.
Yeah, with you, yeah, I did with you, okay.
10:23, that's.
Yeah. And
Okay.
then 27 North Liberty, well, Diane isn't here right now, but she had suggested at the last meeting to move to a Thursday agenda so the applicant and the neighbors and abutters could discuss.
As I understand it, it's been completely withdrawn.
It has been withdrawn, but I also wanted to discuss, and I emailed Diane to see if they wanted to meet on a Thursday, if they still wanted that, so, to discuss.
I don't see what the point is of discussing it with the public when it's not even an application.
Just kind of like, you know how we put like up in here, like a preliminary discussion,
I'm not gonna come to that,
so.
just saying.
Well, the applicant, as far as I know, it was okay to put that on the agenda for 10/10, so they're expecting to, not expecting, but right now it's tentative at 10/10. But it was up to Diane, if she suggested it,
But didn't she suggest it at a
at a meeting where they had an application.
Right,
Yeah,
so
okay.
I personally don't wanna hear a bunch of neighbors gripe about something that's not even on the agenda before us.
Okay.
I feel like we spend so much time listening to that ad nauseum that when it comes up again, but maybe Diane doesn't know that either, so.
Yeah, well, she's not here tonight,
Yeah.
so, the problem is the next meeting is next week, I just need to know, so I can, when I post the agenda.
Well, I just assume wait for the application come in, you know, from the Sherwood.
It's been withdrawn.
Yeah,
I
the
know, but
application-
it hasn't come back, when
Yeah.
it comes back in, I'll
Yeah.
I'll take it seriously.
Yeah, well, because
but-
Diane isn't here to discuss this, and the next week is the 8th and the 10th. So, I will just reach out to Troy and say it's on hold till I hear from Diane.
Why-
And
yeah,
I don't believe that Diane knows that the application was withdrawn.
You could just email her.
Well, I don't think her email is working.
No, you gotta send it to her daughter, I think.
Oh, I don't have her daughter's
Oh.
email. So,
But back to the appeal on Sunset Ridge,
yes,
is somebody gonna do that?
well.
I was
should be.
prepared to do it before and the guy didn't show up, so.
Right.
Who's on that? Who was on that?
Well, I don't have the information in front of me right now, but,
Do you know who the board was?
I have it back in the office, I wasn't prepared to.
I
Well,
will-
I was, 'cause I thought Ray was gonna be here, so.
Right,
when
I
did the
mean,
agenda.
if it's not gonna waste a whole night again and somebody knows whether they're
Yeah.
coming or not.
Well, I mean, we
Yeah.
have to, that's why I put it on now to make everybody aware, it's at the end of the month, so when Ray gets back, I can put that on, I can reach out to him and, maybe he can.
I was
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I believe he was on he voted on it, I can't recall.
I think I was on it, but I can't remember.
Yes,
I've got, you gave me here, I got August 27th, and it jumps to September 17th. So I'm missing,
the 19th, yes, Terry's working on that.
no, I'm just saying I'm missing,
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
wondering.
Yep, so the 19th.
The last one I got was 26th.
We're in a queue.
I gave it the 24th as well. I gave you September 24th.
Yeah, I got 24th, 26th.
Mhm.
That was the
Yes.
last one.
Yep, okay.
Thank you. All set.
Here he is.
Yay.
Any public comment?
I don't
There's a
know.
lot of short boards because Ray is away, Steven's not here, Jesse's not here.
Deer steak being slowly cooked.
Oh, it's slower the better.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, slow and slow.
more port you put in that
Yeah, it
In
won't be,
what?
won't be meat gum.
venison.
Oh, venison, I love it.
You're cooking it
Huh? Yeah, it's
in a
just
crock
slow,
pot?
slow cooker.
So he looked up 'cause it's full
Well, it was at the
board
bottom of the
before.
agenda, so I just assumed.
Yeah, well, everybody
the
dropped that.
agenda is enormous.
The what?
We're moving very fast nowadays.
I've seen you guys talk about a window for an hour.
Yeah.
It was a full board before.
Nope.
No, that's
Yeah,
why,
yeah.
And there wasn't any controversial applicants, so to speak.
Ethan McMorrow,
That's me.
would you like to tell us?
Yes, so what I did is I talked to the homeowners and they were like, we don't want the house on the roadside, we want it here. So what I did is I lowered it by 1.5 feet, removed a large portion of the second floor and only made it 1.5 stories and switched the gable end, so the view is, it's basically a 1.5 story.
This house?
No, that's the surveyor's
Oh.
plan I just gave you, but keep going. It's this one. I gave you the surveyor's, the technical plan as well.
Oh, wait,
It's this
so
one.
This is to be built.
Yes.
Is it?
No, that's to be built.
Why is it?
Well, because it shows you where the main house is.
What did you change? Just that?
No, I just lowered, I changed, you go to the elevation, I changed a whole new building. It's a whole new house.
Huh?
You'll see.
A whole new house.
Whole new house. See, that's what I filed originally, that's what it is now. And I lowered it by 1.5 feet
Yeah.
and removed that big massive box, as you can
Good for
see right
you.
there.
Yeah. I love the I love a broken back.
This is what I wanted to do originally.
Oh, then you had to be told by us.
Yeah, it had to be told, yeah.
So you used this as an excuse.
That's always easy.
Anybody have a, John, what do you think?
I'm
What
still
do you
trying to
think?
figure it out.
What do you think of the new proposal?
Go ahead. Windows.
I know, TJ, what do you think of the new proposal?
I'm okay with it. I appreciate the changes, and I also like these roof lines better, and the change in height.
Thanks.
It looks good.
Excuse me, did you recite, did you
No.
rotate it?
No.
You turn the gable though.
Oh, the
The
building
reduced?
gable is rotated.
Which is great, cause I
Okay.
think that makes it,
Appeases the neighbors.
They can
Okay.
see over it because it's the height of the treetops.
Okay.
I mean, it's only 23 feet.
22.
22 now. Yeah.
22, yeah, I lowered it.
I think you did a great job.
There we go. And John, what do you think?
He's gotta figure out his windows.
I'm looking at the B window.
Fixed.
Didn't see that.
I know.
Inoperable.
No, I didn't know how to spell
Windows,
that.
B windows are fixed. And this is different from the house that was fine, right?
That was the original, that's the proposed. The original proposed.
Everybody's closing up.
Original submission.
Wait a minute, you changed that? You can move it on. I'm gonna get two.
I changed the gable also from this way to this way.
Did you change the height?
Lowered it, 2.5, 1.5.
22 feet.
Yeah, you got a fence.
Was this in?
Yeah, unless you're,
Yeah, it was.
Kathy, you're gonna fence the air conditioner.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, you're gonna fence the air conditioner, yeah.
yeah, but you know what, the air conditioner is,
Wherever you put it.
you're never gonna see it from anywhere.
They all say that, you know, everybody says that. All of a sudden you go look at it and there it is.
So you're gonna see it from the road, from there?
Would you like to make a motion?
I was waiting
100
for him to
feet.
get his 2 cents in.
They all put fences up.
I know, no one knew.
Big fence, right?
Motion to approve as submitted
Thank you.
today. Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Come all done?
Okay. I'm kind of I thought I was gonna be able to do it. I thought we were gonna go and for at least until 7:30 now.
Well, we gotta go out and have
Okay, you have anything
cocktails
else
or
you need to
something.
discuss?
I wanted to.
Back to that.
So, I just wanted you guys to look, I don't know if you had a chance to look at what I emailed you about my enforcement letter. Val made another suggestion to revise it again, so I don't know if you have any thoughts.
I think it needs to be very stern.
So, I'll change the part of it under incomplete applications, and then I added the checklist.
Is this a new one, or I got the old one?
Yeah, this is a revised one that I sent out today.
Okay, thank you.
The funny thing is I was gonna print and put the checklist in with all my applications tomorrow, and I couldn't find it
With the checklist?
on the line.
Online, it's under, understanding the process. It's part
Oh,
of
no
that.
wonder I couldn't find it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's part of that PDF.
Maybe it could
Well, we're gonna
be like application items or
So
something.
Stephen, if he was here, we were gonna discuss, maybe myself and him and another board member, or two, revising the checklist.
Okay.
I don't know if it'll be like a work group, or we could just do it with two members and myself, if we can. I'm not really,
Okay.
do I need to have like post a meeting for that if I have?
No, cause if it's only two members and you, then.
But is it okay to do two members, or am I supposed to do three members?
I think it's supposed to be 3. I mean, that's,
If you wanna be on a work
If 3 or
group,
more of you are gathered together.
But for a checklist,
Then it has to be posted.
yeah, but
it's just to revise
it's
the
a checklist,
checklist.
so in that situation, do I need to do a work group?
no, it's not like we're talking about a project, we're,
Just updating a form?
yeah.
I don't either.
I didn't think so either. So anyway, yeah, so I'm gonna be making their checklist more user-friendly, it's too generic and people don't know how to follow it. So, I've gone on some websites and lots of historic sites have different checklists for different projects on their website. So I printed some out and showed Stephen as an example, but, so I'd like to do that, and I'd like to add that with this. But I wanted to get this out as soon as possible, if I could, unless you guys think of anything else I need to add. So,
Kathy, I have a question.
mm-hmm.
On the new one, what happened to number 2? It was taken off.
So I actually added
It says this here.
deadlines. Oh, that's down there. I changed this language and then I added the checklist on here, so see, it says September 24th, that's pretty good.
I had
Okay.
said to her,
Okay, this was taken out?
No,
Right
I
here.
know,
It's
I
added.
reworded this, I reworded it,
Alright,
and then I added the checklist, so that's why there's 3 instead of 2.
the checklist is number 2, 3,
Yeah.
where's number 3?
Right there, deadlines, prefer, right there, same thing, that's just
I got
bigger,
you, I got you,
bigger
alright.
font.
Together. That's question 1, okay, I'll keep.
oh no.
Thank you.
So anyway, I don't know if you all had any suggestions or.
Well, you know what, we might get more, if more people were here, we could
I
see
know,
if
I
somebody
know.
wanted to volunteer to do that.
Well, I guess Steve has,
Yes,
right?
yeah, Steve.
If you need another person, I'll help a little.
I'm not very good at stuff like that, this is the only problem, I wouldn't be very good at it.
Revise the checklist.
Yeah.
I don't even know, I mean, it should be an architect that does it all the time, like.
Well, I just wanna get it done as soon as possible. We are getting new staff in soon, so I just really wanna
We
get.
are?
Yeah, someone to replace me, so.
Where
Well,
are you
but
going?
I'm not going anywhere, I was an admin, now I'm a land use specialist, so someone needs to fill my spot. Cause John moved away,
Yeah.
so I moved into John's,
Oh.
so now someone needs to take my spot.
Oh, gotcha.
Well, if nobody else wants to help, I can help.
Thank you. You know, I don't think I need to post a meeting, as long as it's okay to do it with 2 members, that's fine. Okay, alright, we'll get this, try to get this done
Yeah,
as
we
soon
don't
as
even have to
possible.
vote on that, just,
Okay,
you,
alright.
can you, you know, text,
Yeah, we
email one
coordinate.
another and make a date that's
Yeah,
convenient
yeah,
for.
yeah, yeah,
both of you?
absolutely.
Just to point out, said to Kathy, applications missing key information will be subject to automatic continuance without discussion by the commission. It's too nice, people won't listen to that.
Oh, that was
It needs
nice?
to be, if your application's incomplete, you will not be heard.
Okay, can we change that? Kathy?
She's gonna do something
yeah,
nicer.
yeah.
Yeah, nicer,
Nice, no,
you mean,
no,
Just, I
Or
think
harsh.
just because subject to gives me this impression that maybe you will be kind and take
Oh.
you, and I wanna make it clear,
Yeah.
no, we won't.
I think you should be on it too. I think you
yeah,
should.
okay.
I had a comment.
Mm-hmm.
At the top of this is reference, enforcement of historic district commission applicant procedures.
Mhm.
It should say underneath of it, consistency by all members. If we stand behind something, there's no reason somebody should violate any of that.
Well, I don't,
They ought to be, once they see that, they ought to do some stopping.
what do you mean by, you mean by the board?
By the board, so yeah, all
But we
members.
don't always agree with one another, that's the beauty of us.
What?
I mean, we don't always agree with one another on,
But if somebody comes in 10 minutes late, you're gonna take them? If somebody
that's
files
something.
them,
well, I think we take it on a, you know,
well, they say you're gonna start bending stuff like the whole rest of this town does.
well,
Consistency should be the number one thing, or else don't do it. That's all, and I just, I've been that way for quite a few years, and I'm not gonna change.
Yeah.
So you all gotta
But
change.
solar panels on the roof are okay.
Thank you, Kathy.
You're
Good work.
welcome, thank you, alright.
okay, what else, do we wanna discuss one of these other things?
And I did also want to mention that there is gonna be an organizational meeting on Tuesday, the 29th. So I have to, I didn't print it out, but I, didn't know if you wanted to meet for regular applications, cause that's an old business week.
Wait a minute.
The regular applications meet on Thursday. Is that okay?
She's just making an announcement. Tuesday, the 29th is an organizational meeting, and she wants to know if we wanna meet on Thursday. I will not, because that's Halloween.
Okay, yeah, that's
I'll
true.
be setting up for my
So there
800
will be-
tickets.
So the
29th of
rest of
October,
you-
right?
So you wanna meet on the 31st for old business applications,
You know,
otherwise we won't have a meeting that week.
yeah, I wonder if skipping a meeting, I can't foresee it, but I think it should be on a Thursday and not Halloween. You know, because I think taking up a Tuesday is taking up a
Well,
lot of.
it's the 5th Tuesday, and the 5th Tuesday, I haven't looked at the full calendar again, but Ray had mentioned that.
But I thought we
past it's
talked
been-
about that.
We did, and then Ray went to a joint meeting with the planning board and the Nantucket Historic Commission and brought it up. So that's why I put it on the agenda. So I don't think it's been put to rest yet, so,
Tuesday, the 29th, we're gonna have an organization meeting, right?
Yeah, and then she's asking us, what did we think about bumping the regular meeting to the 31st, but, I just said,
31st is Thursday.
and I'm not gonna be here.
so we can wait and hold off, and I can put that on the agenda for the 15th when Ray is back.
Yeah.
If you, and then, so you'll have plenty of time to
Okay,
discuss. the
Tuesday,
organizational
29th.
I
meeting.
think that sounds better, don't you?
Okay,
Brain?
Okay,
Motion to hold till the 15th of, November?
yeah, for discussion, yeah, you don't need to.
No, October.
Did I say November? I didn't, yeah, October, sorry.
What day in October?
Ray is back on the, for the meeting on the, is there a meeting on the 15th?
Yeah.
For the meeting on the 15th, to discuss it with him, because he went to a meeting with the planning board and the
Nantucket Historical Commission.
historical commission.
We have autonomy, we shouldn't be listening to other departments.
What? We working together.
And that's what
We've
leads
been
into the
taken over
discussion.
already.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what leads into the next bullet point, which is, well, after the one below, discussion of recommendations to the Nantucket Planning Board on possible warrant articles. So that was why he mentioned that we would have an organizational meeting.
Oh.
So, anyway, but we don't need to talk about that. I think that's it. Oh, I need to bring that down now. Anything else?
Okay.
Ray asked me to add that to the other business, so. So if you have any suggestions for the organizational meeting, you can email them to me.
Oh,
Okay. Right?
Motion to adjourn at 5:42.
That's amazing.
I
The
know.
record.
yeah, well, we didn't do anything. I can't really.
Well,
I can bring the cart back.
we were here, that's the important thing.
That's
That was fun.
It was.
all in favor of John's motion?
Aye.
Hey.